everybody still knows about smoking's health risks, the habit seems to be on the rise due to a resurgence in the old belief that smoking is simply cool. Many studies, including one by the American Journal of Preventative Medicine in 2011, have suggested this swell in popularity indicates a large demographic of teenage smokers. Once again, smoking has become a prominent social outlet, specifically among teens and college students, but it's only because our generation thinks of it as a choice, not an addiction. For kids and young adults, smoking has increased in popularity over the last several years. A survey conducted in March of 2013 by the Cancer Research Centre in the UK indicates that 207,000 children in the UK, ranging from 11 to 15 years old, start smoking each year. Paralleling that rise, youth smoking in the US has also increased. The aforementioned study shows that, in the period from 1991 to 2009, teenage smoking has risen by about 12%. However, this study is quick to emphasize that this was an increase in casual smoking, defined as 1 to 5 cigarettes per day rather than heavy smoking, which is defined as more than 11 cigarettes per day.
I smoked one cigarette before, and it's because my throat hurt, and it turns out that it's like postnasal drip, and the menthols in the cigarettes actually cleared it up. So I thought about smoking again, but only when I'm sick.
So I was 15, I was a sophomore at the time. I had just started smoking weed and I wanted to get better at smoke tricks to impress my friends. So I stole a cigarette from my mom. They were American Spirits and I didn't inhale at all. I just pulled into my mouth. I inhaled once by accident. It was the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. And that was it. I haven't smoked another one since.
I first started smoking when I was probably like 13. My friends and I thought we were really cool, and they were a little bit older, so they were probably in high school, freshmen in high school or in middle school, and we used to pick up cigarette butts off the ground and smoke them because we didn't know who to buy cigarettes from, because at the time I was 13, I didn't know any 18-year-olds would buy me cigarettes at the store, so we would think we were really cool by picking up cigarettes off the ground and smoking them, and it was so lame and gross, and I look back and I think about it and it's really gross and funny.
My name is Tyler, I'm 23, and I no longer smoke cigarettes. I did when I was 13 to 18, I want to say. I was hanging out with a couple of friends of mine, and he was smoking weed, and at the time I was a ignorant Christian boy who thought that weed was horrible and terrible. I thought that cigarettes were better, so I was like, oh, if you have a cigarette, I'll do that. It's basically the same thing, right? Keep in mind I was 13, I had no idea what I was talking about. And so I did it so that I could feel like I was accepted with the group of kids I was sitting with, even though I already would have been if I had not smoked.
Of course, this recent resurgence in smoking is also accompanied by a seemingly everlasting cool connotation for cigarettes. So what did the images of casual and cool smoking lead to?
Are you on nicotine right now?
Nicotine's my favorite drug. My favorite drug to dabble on.
Dabble.
I just get so messed
Sometime-
up. I get wrecked when I do nicotine.
I just inject straight nicotine.
Nicotine right into my veins.
Sometimes
you know,
I chew
if you give me a cigarette, I'll just inject
Crush
it right
it
into
up.
my veins.
I'll
yeah.
cook it in a spoon.
No. I'll use the cigarette as the
You know what
as
I
the
do?
needle.
Is I light the cigarette and I just put it out right in my skin. It goes right in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I actually, Luca, when he was younger, he would they would balance cigarettes on their arms, and then they would whoever could handle the burn longest would win this prize or something. So
This rain's got us running late. No problem, Jimmy. We'll make it up on the last leg. These cigarettes are on their last legs already. Huh? They taste flat. I gotta get a new brand. Here. Try one of mine. Cools, huh? It's the only cigarette I smoke.
An article released by the National Bureau of Economic Research suggests that the increase in teen smoking will eventually lead to a rise in adult smoking. However, the NBER found that when asked about their future cigarette usage, 56% of high school seniors believe that they will have quit within 5 years. This suggests that kids believe smoking to be cool and hip now, but feel addictions are unsophisticated and unappealing.
I don't smoke cigarettes anymore because I've had so many family members that have died from lung cancer, and my grandmother died last year from lung cancer. My grandfather died when I was much younger from lung cancer. So for me to smoke cigarettes, it would just be like a death sentence, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like putting them down, or I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like, didn't you learn from us? Why are you doing this? Like, I feel like they would be disappointed with me, and I don't want to do that to them. And I mean, when I did smoke cigarettes, I didn't really get anything out of it. Most of the time I didn't really enjoy it, just because after like the first couple of months, the taste starts to wear down. It starts to really affect you, and I could already feel like, because I have asthma, I could already feel like I was getting shortness of breath. My breath smelled bad all the time. It was just like, it wasn't fun. Like, at first I felt cool. I felt it was fun. When I was 18, I could buy my own cigarettes, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I stopped smoking. I do think that society, even though we market that cigarettes are bad for you, you know, they ruin your skin, they have all those commercials and things like that, I do think society has all these pressures because, especially in like people that I'm friends with, all of my friends smoke because that's the cool thing to do. It's a hardcore thing to do. It's the rebellious thing to do.
Then finally my throat started hurting really bad all the time when I was like 18, so I was like, shit, I really need to stop. And then I started doing that same thing that I was doing with the cigarettes, but with nicotine patches, so that I could stop. And I used nicotine patches for like a year, and then all of a sudden I didn't want to smoke, but I still can't be around people that smoke. It kind of sucks. It sucks a lot, actually. I mean, I definitely did it to be cool because everyone around me was doing it, smoking cigarettes and smoking weed, and not intentionally, but definitely making me feel like I would be a loser if I didn't. And I can't imagine that I would have picked up a cigarette and smoked it if I hadn't had people around me, because they're fucking miserable. Like, I was just coughing and fucking throwing up everywhere. It was garbage.
Yeah, I think that I definitely encounter like pollution in the air that's more likely to give me cancer than one cigarette. But maybe if I had like a pack a week or even a pack a day, then I definitely think I would get some emphysema from that.
Social smokers have this perception that because they use cigarettes solely as a social outlet, they aren't addicted to nicotine. They excuse the physical act of smoking because the motivation for performing the act is not dependence. This, yet again, implies and emphasizes the cool factor, which transitively increases cigarette usage overall and leads to quite a vicious cycle. After all, young adults are more inclined to take up smoking when it is portrayed as a social, hip choice rather than as a dependency. But smoking as an addiction, that will never be popular.
No, don't let me see you crying. 'Cause honey, I smoke you till I'm dying.